Hey everybody, welcome to episode 154 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I am awesome.
I know you are.
The day before 4th of July, we're not going to actually do a show tomorrow. I wanted to let everyone know. We're going to do a surprise though. We will show up somewhere tomorrow.
Right. So we decided today to celebrate the July 4th Eve with you.
That's it. We're going to do that. So
Is that a
we're
holiday?
really excited. It is for me. July. Oh, by the way, July is Patriot Month. So every single day we celebrate
MAGA Month.
MAGA Month.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. So we love July. It's our favorite month, even though it's hot. It is definitely hot here.
Yeah, it is hot. But at least tomorrow, man, there's no rain in the forecast for us. That's awesome, and we'll be able to have a good, nice day. And then, you know, the evening time there in Lufkin, they always at the Ellen Trout Zoo, they do the fireworks display. They've done this for, I don't know, 150 years. You know, I don't know.
It's a big display, and people line up along the loop in Lufkin, and they all line up, and you can see it from miles and miles away. You know, so it's an experience, and they have an all-day carnival pretty much that goes on there with vendors and stuff. So it's really exciting if anybody's interested in going there. Yeah,
I was going to say, if you're listening to us from the East Texas area or from the Houston area, up north of you, if you want to spend a cool day, man, and well, a fun day. It won't be a cool day, but it'll be a fun day. But if you want to spend a fun day, man, Lufkin's a pretty good place to go. Nacogdoches has a real good festival every year.
We've been there a couple of times.
Yes, we have.
You know, they have music and
and
you can sit on the ground, and it's kind of like a hill that y'all sit on. It's really nice and beautiful there. And so if you want to go to that one, I'm pretty sure they're having that this week. Tomorrow,
and their fireworks display is as big as Lufkin's. Probably, you know, I've seen Nacogdoches actually do a better job with their fireworks than Lufkin has in the past at times. But either way, you can go right in the middle of the park or the zoo, either place, and have a real good fun time. You'll be able to
family time,
and you'll be able to see the fireworks from there. One year, you remember we went to a church parking lot and sat out there.
Oh,
and that was, 5 miles away from it, and we still could see the fireworks from there that night.
All the way, and that's pretty far.
Yeah, it's about 5 miles around there, 4 to 5 miles.
Everyone will be able to see it. It's exciting. We all get excited for 4th of July around here.
Right. Well, I'll tell you who else is excited right now. They're all getting excited, and that is the left and the mainstream media. So yesterday, Joy Reid come out with her little monologue about everything. She called it a reality check for America on MSNBC. So that, as you can see, they've got their marching orders. And like you asked yesterday, you said, do these people ever tell the truth? Ever. But I really thought it was ironic because when you looked at the video, you opened it up, and you just have it on still pause. On their breaking news, it says, a reality check for America. Here's their reality.
Because while I will never gaslight you, I'm not going to be out here saying that you didn't see what you saw last Thursday on that debate stage. You saw it. I saw it. Everybody who frantically texted me saw it. And there are plenty of places that you can go to hear about whether and how the Democratic candidate, not the criminal candidate, should step aside. Y'all Democrats handle that. Figure it out and let me know. Because what I know is that Donald J. Trump cannot be allowed back into the White House. Full stop, period. Because Donald Trump is a dangerous, felonious wannabe autocrat who is vowing to release hundreds of violent insurrectionists from prison by pardoning them, to open internment camps on U.S. soil and round up millions of undocumented migrants to put there, and sick the Justice Department on his declared enemies. He has called for the execution of people he doesn't like, including former Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley. He has admitted he wants to be a dictator, like his favorite dictators, Vladimir Putin, China's Xi Jinping, and the dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. And please spare me the on day one bit. They all vow to be only a dictator on day one. Second, Project 2025 cannot be allowed to be implemented in the United States.
But it is
straight up fascism, which would unleash the U.S. military on American citizens like an official death squad.
False.
Turn the federal government into the equivalent of the Chinese parliament or the Russian Duma, where you have to take a personal oath to the official party and to the president to keep your job.
False.
It would unleash a national abortion ban, using federal agencies to end access to everything from contraceptives to IVF to books and more. It means turning this country literally into Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale, except with tariff-induced 100% inflation. And if you were to combine a Trump autocracy, a fully Christian nationalist Republican Party in control of both houses of Congress, and the current Supreme Court majority, well, Katie, bar the door and unleash the devil, because we would be finished as a democracy.
It's false.
False. Oh, my God.
That's their reality. We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know. In a side-by-side comparison to a market leader, Cornbread Hemp checks all the boxes. They are USDA certified organic, flower only extracted, full spectrum, free of artificial colors and preservatives, and they are third-party lab tested.
Cornbread Hemp supports me on my wellness journey. I love Cornbread Hemp gummies. I especially enjoy the watermelon gummies. After work, when I feel overwhelmed, I take a gummy and I go for a relaxing and calming swim. So make sure you get you some Cornbread Hemp gummies. I take them daily. So whether you choose to take Cornbread Hemp gummies, oils, lotion, or whatever you choose, take them daily and discover a delicious way to improve your health and well-being. And if you're having problems with winding down for the day, try out Cornbread Hemp Sleep Gummies or the lotion, which I use every night to soothe my joint discomfort. Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. Hey guys, and before we start the show today, we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show.
Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you choose to listen to podcasts. We're there every day.
Every single day.
And download the Rumble app. You can follow our show on there. You'll receive instant notifications when we go live, which is every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And as we said yesterday, we're excited about our new sponsor, Cornbread Hemp. And we have our very first promo code, which, as said in the ad, ITTW. So look, go to our show on whichever platform you choose. In the show notes is a link to Cornbread Hemp. Use that link, use our promo code, and like we said, you will receive 30% off your initial purchase.
Yep. Just type in ITTW in the promo code line. Well, first thing we do today is we have call to action.
Bannon watch.
Bannon watch. Steve Bannon of War Room, who has 121 days left of prison for a misdemeanor from contempt of Congress, if you can believe that.
Yep.
Yeah, and Grace got a phone call from him yesterday. I thought that was really cool. I think the posse really needed to hear from him. And you know what he said?
What's that?
Get to work. He wants us to get to work. So here we are. We're getting to work. And we're going to work every single day to bring you the information to help you stand up and want to make America great again. So if you remember on yesterday's show, we asked you during the call of action segment to call your representatives, to let them know that they're going to just fine Merrick Garland $10,000 a day instead of bringing up the inherent contempt. You know, I mean, they were going to vote on that, and then all of a sudden they're not going to vote on that. So I thought that was nuts.
And yeah, Biden comes out on Monday night and once again declares no one's above the law. And if that's the case, then that $10,000, like I said yesterday, it would be well served with Merrick Garland sitting in a jail cell. No one's above the law.
Yeah, and Representative Luna, she commented on the article that we read yesterday. She was kind of upset that we talked bad about her. And she said there were members who said that they didn't support the other version, meaning it would fail. Either way, I am literally the only person that brainstormed any accountability. If you don't like how the GOP votes as a whole, get active. But trashing me without knowing details is exactly what the left does.
I got a comment about this, too. Surprisingly, I do. Okay. If I just go with what she just said in her statement about that we wouldn't have had the votes anyway, and instead of you trashing me, you need to know all the details. Guess what? You already come out and said you were going to call for the Sergeant of Arms to arrest Merrick Garland. You said that.
And if you didn't have the votes, why bring it up? Why give the people that hope? You know, all I think anymore is these representatives just want you to, you know, they just want to come out and say things that will make you go vote for them.
They want that for a show spot. Yeah.
Yes.
For a segment. So that, like you said, so that they can come out there and campaign their own agenda.
It makes me wonder if they were kissing Steve Bannon's butt on his show when they were saying all this. And then once he's in prison, they're going to be like, oh, he's gone. Now we don't have to listen to him no more.
Turn around and turn on him.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and
I wonder that. I mean,
yeah.
And thank goodness for Grace this morning. She called her out on it.
Yeah. And with everybody and anybody, hey, you're not above the law.
No.
You know what I mean?
You're not above the law. I mean, Steve Bannon's in jail. Navarro's in jail for a misdemeanor. I would keep saying this. For a misdemeanor.
Exactly.
But something else happened yesterday with Steve Bannon. He did this interview with Vaughn Hilliard on NBC before he went to prison, and the part 1 came out yesterday. Here is a clip from that.
Yeah, and this is Bannon calling for a massive investigation into Merrick Garland, Weissman, MSNBC, the federal judiciary, and also Lisa Monaco, following the 6-3 Supreme Court decision.
People in prison.
Why not hold those that did attack the Capitol on January 6th accountable and have them serve their due time? You talk about justice all the time. Why not have
Vaughn Hilliard, you must not watch MSNBC last night, because if you had watched it, it wasn't just the Chevron deference. The other bigger case was Fisher being overturned. Even Judge
52 individuals out of the more than 1,000 that had that.
Sole charge, but others have been added for.
52 out of 1,000.
If one person in this country, if one citizen of this country goes to a federal prison because Andrew Weissman and MSNBC work with the Justice Department to take something that was thrown out 6-3, and Judge Brown Jackson,
The Supreme Court did its due work.
Well, it should have come. It should have not. It should have never come in the first place. It's outrageous. And for you,
justice be served.
they're not. Are they out of prison today, sir? Are they walking out of prison today?
52 of the individuals.
By the way, another over 100 has it as an additional charge to get long.
Those who attacked.
Hang on.
Do you agree that those who attacked?
No, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Vaughn, I'm not going to let Vaughn. You're not going to get off the hook on this, brother.
But
you're not going to be that problem. You give all the happy talk about some theoretical. I'm talking practical.
Releasing all of them, and you talk about justice. You talk about peaceful transfer.
Could you not see right now how it was weaponized against American citizens? And you said to blow it off only 52 guys. If one American citizen, Vaughn, is in,
I don't disagree with you.
You do disagree. Did I see Vaughn Hilliard down outside the D.C. gulag sitting there going, where are the 52? Put as much energy.
The way that the courts interpreted the law, that is where it was. The Supreme Court did its work.
No. This was gun deck. This is going to cause, you talk about adjudication, this is going to cause a massive investigation. This is going to cause a massive investigation of Merrick Garland, Weissman, MSNBC, the collusion and collaboration that went on, and it's going to cause a massive investigation of the federal judiciary in Washington, D.C. that went along with this. How did this happen? When Judge Brown Jackson writes her independent opinion, but with with the majority at 6-3, that's when questions should start being answered. This is an outrage to the American people. It's an outrage to civil liberties in this country. You guys have turned in.
Wow. Steve Bannon was on fire, and he has every right to be on fire. And you know who he's behind? He's behind the American people.
Exactly.
You know, and the American people were treated awful.
They were treated like criminals.
And all of them, myself, especially the ones in the gulag, should have already been out for time served in the gulag because they were in there for years before they even went to court.
3.5 years for a felony misdemeanor, trespassing.
Yes.
Right?
It's amazing to me.
And that's why the Fisher decision is such a big deal, because all these people really done was just walked in the Capitol. The Capitol that they pay for. The Capitol that is theirs. It's not Merrick Garland's Capitol. It's not Joe Biden's. It's not Nancy Pelosi's. It's ours. It's ours. And Hilliard kept trying to bring up the 52, and I was glad to see that Bannon would not allow himself to get caught up in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he told him, I'm not going to let you off this. No way.
No.
You know, and good. I mean, we all need to be like that, just like that. We have to talk to people. And, you know, you notice how Von Hilliard was so soft-spoken. And look, I'm the reasonable one while you're the one that's out. I mean, I believe they put that there for visual a lot of times.
Well, the only visual I got from that was that the more that he tried to continue to interrupt Steve, or the more that he kept trying to frame or mislead Steve or bait Steve into talking about something that would have trapped a situation, Steve wouldn't let him do it. And my view of it was he was soft-spoken because he knew if he raised his voice at Steve at that moment right there, Steve would have probably come around that desk on him, because Steve was pretty fired up at that point in time.
He was.
Yeah.
Because he understands the narrative that the mainstream media continues to put out about the American citizens that is false.
Yep. And Hilliard didn't disappoint. He kept pushing it just like the good little soldier that he is, man. Hey, are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit their website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite. All right, here we go. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Trump watch.
There you go.
Did you hear yesterday after the show, we've discovered Trump's sentencing in New York had been delayed until September 18th. It was signed by Judge Marchand.
Man, if you listen to yesterday's show, boy, we called it wrong, didn't we?
We did. We're sorry about that. I mean, we were way off. But, you know, I have my conspiracies about this, but I'm going to let Politico tell you a little bit what they said. Donald Trump's sentencing in his Manhattan criminal case has been delayed until September 18th so that the former president can present new arguments that his conviction should be tossed out in light of Monday's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. They go on to say the sentencing, which had been set for July 11th, will now take place less than 2 months before the election day. In a letter to prosecutors and Trump's lawyers, Justice Juan Merchan didn't elaborate on the sentencing delay, but merely set a schedule for both parties to submit court filings related to the immunity argument. So there you go. Well, I believe they're going to find a way to sentence him. I don't believe this is anything. It's a nothing burger. It's just punting it down the road, which I'm glad, because that frees President Trump up to continue to campaign to
rally
for his election, and he's going to win in November.
Looking at this too, I'm kind of wondering if the reason that all of a sudden the flip, because this is to me it's an actual flip, the way that they come after him in the hush money trial, the way that Bragg behaved during all of that, the way that Judge Merchan behaved in all of that. I think that maybe this is a way for either one of them to do a little bit of PR for themselves to try to go, oh, look at me, I'm fair.
I agree. That's a good point.
Look at me, I'm fair. wait, Alvin Bragg, you campaigned on taking down Donald Trump.
And look, behind the scenes, my daughter was making all this money. Now I need to like be nice for a minute, man, kind of thing.
Or
Is that what you think?
they'll pull her money, or they'll pull that money from her,
or he might be going to jail himself,
or on trial at least.
Yes, one or the other.
Yeah.
But then ALX points out from the Washington Post this morning, and it says the Trump cases. Justice Department plans to pursue Trump cases past Election Day, even if he wins. If Donald Trump is elected president, the finish line for federal prosecutors is Inauguration Day, not Election Day. People familiar with the discussions said. So here we go. They're pushing it back, and they're going to keep this a narrative. If you heard that MSNBC gross video of Joy Reid that we played you in the beginning.
Yep, he was real upset, wasn't he?
She continues to say, or she did say in there, if you caught it, that he felonial, okay, in that sentence, but he has not been sentenced, and he is not a felon as of yet. And they're going to continue to use felon the whole time. They're going to continue to use that.
Just like we talked about the upside down world, if we lived in right side world come September 18th, to me, that should be the moment that, hey, present your argument now based on the Supreme Court ruling. Guess what? We're throwing this out.
Mistrial.
Exactly.
That's exactly what would happen. They would have to declare a mistrial altogether.
But after Biden's debacle Thursday night, after he went out there, and seems that now the polls have changed.
Yeah, it has. There's a new general election poll. It was leaked from Democrats' internal leak. They leaked this. So here you go. North Carolina. Now, this one was a big surprise, and it has surprised a lot of people, and it's kind of got the Democrats really scared here. Trump is up 11.
Yep. He's up 10 in Georgia, up 10 in Arizona, up 9 in Nevada,
up 7 in Pennsylvania, up 7 in Michigan, up 4 in Wisconsin, up 3 in New Hampshire, and this one's got them. I think this one gave them chills. New Hampshire did. And Virginia is up 0.6.
Yeah.
In New Mexico, hey, this is a very, very blue state. Hey, he's up 0.5%.
A half a percentage point. Hey, a lead is a lead.
A lead is a lead.
All you ever have to win in the game is by what? 1 point.
1 point.
That's it.
1 point. But there are people that just can't stand President Trump and the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, and it continually goes on and on and on. And they have to do their digs, So we have a video here from Fox News. Listen to him talk to Neil Cavuto.
You could skip this ad, but don't skip the part that can help you get the job done. At Grainger, we're here for you with support.
And one was the issue of, Donald Trump will 78, just turned 78. He would be 82 leaving office. Some have cynically said, he will have full bore power. You dismiss that early on to go after his enemies. And again, he has stressed himself his best revenge will be success, take him at his word. But there are others who look at that and his age when he would be leaving office, and that he wouldn't have to worry about punishment. It would be an afterthought to him. So he might be emboldened to do that, no matter what you say. What do you say?
Well, I would say, the president acts through people, and maybe he wouldn't worry about it, although I think he would. But the people that are around him and are being asked to do things, certainly I think they're going to make sure that they're, behaving within the law, that they're behaving within the law. I understand people's concern, especially given his frequently incendiary rhetoric. I'm just saying, having experienced working with the person and being a subordinate of his, Bannon says I'm the first to go to prison under President Trump. I don't lose any sleep over it. I'm not worried about that.
I think he's in prison right now himself. Let me ask you, Bill Barr, finally, if you were, I don't mean to make light of that, but if you were Attorney General.
He baited Barr.
Well, Barr had no reason to laugh either, though,
No.
because what Bannon is saying is true. President Trump's going to go after Bill Barr.
Yes.
And he should, rightly so. Going back to, again, what are the Democrats saying now? Save our democracy? Yeah, that's what they say. But what are they also saying? No one's above the law.
Yes. And, you know, Bannon has told him to keep receipts. You better save all them papers
You bet.
and text messages and phone calls.
You bet.
Because, yes, we're going to be looking at you. Because we're going to be going over the 2020 election with a fine-tooth comb. And you're going to be the first one looked at.
You know it.
One thing that I did want to say about this before we move on is President Trump, how they were talking about, you know, how Neil Cavuto, you know, well, you know, he says this or whatever, you know, like they don't believe anything he says. And then Barr calls it rhetoric. That right there tells you that they're Trump haters, you know. So
They have
why,
TDS.
yes.
Yeah.
So why are you on here and why are you relevant any longer? You know, either one of you. You know, Fox News drives me crazy with this. You know, there's been a witch hunt for so many people. I mean, on and on and on. And Bannon, and no, one thing I will make clear is Bannon isn't the first one that went to prison. That would be Peter Navarro.
Exactly.
He's the first one. So they were wrong altogether. So I hope you don't believe anything. And now here we go. Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. Did you hear what happened to him yesterday? He has been disbarred in New York for supposedly election interference in the 2020 election. A New York appeals court in Manhattan found Giuliani should be immediately prohibited from practicing law for false statements he made after the 2020 election, including claims of election fraud.
Yeah, he had already had his law license suspended over the comments. The former New York City mayor and legal advisor to Trump claimed that he believed the statements when he made them, but the court ruled that as a former federal prosecutor, he should have known better.
You know, and that's just amazing to me. I mean, what they don't even really give their side of anything. Oh, he just should have known better. And what did he say that was
Not
still
true.
wrong and not true? They didn't
Exactly.
give any information whatsoever. They just come out and say, oh, well, yeah, he needs to be disbarred because they didn't like what he said. You know, he's an attorney, and he is a very smart attorney.
Exactly. And, you know, in a lot of ways, that's no different right there than what Joy Reid did. Joy Reid come out and she made all these wild accusations of Trump's going to be a dictator, Trump's going to do this, he's going to do that. But yet you never expounded, you never explained any of your positions. You just come out and made this damn accusation and thought that everything was cool and fine.
Oh, yeah,
and that
that's
people
it.
just accept you as truth.
Yeah.
Man.
So are we supposed to accept this truth? This Democrats, you know, on a private call, I'm reading from Semaphore. On a private call, Democrats weigh comatose or dead Biden and alternatives. You know, they are crying right now over that debate. It was a debacle for the Democrats. They don't know which way to go. They don't know up or down or sideways.
and
you know,
they want to throw Joe Biden under the bus.
and they can't stand Kamala Harris. You know, I mean, well, I don't know if they can't stand her, but she's a terrible candidate.
Nobody likes
Nobody
her. She polls
likes
lower
her.
than him.
Yes.
Yeah, she polls lower than he does.
But Fox News came out this morning and said that she was polling above him. So you can't
Who
believe
knows?
Fox News.
Yeah. But going back to this, top Democrat consultants debated Wednesday before an audience of large Democrat donors whether they could push Joe Biden from the race for being president or whether Vice President Kamala Harris would be a worse than a comatose or a dead Biden. I think she would be. 72% of people want something different. Why not give it to them? Asked James Carville. We all know who James Carville is. He's a political strategist. He worked under Bill Clinton for a while. Carville's a smart dude. I'll give Carville credit.
Yeah, but you have to admit, he's been going on all these mainstream media channels just freaking out. He's been saying, hey, we need to do something besides Biden for a few months now. And
Yes,
no
he
one has been
and
listening
no one's
to him.
paid attention to him. Now
let's
you
see if
see
they do.
72% are going, oh, no.
We've been listening to Carville, haven't? How come you haven't?
Carville advised the donors who want Biden out of the race, you better cut the money off to the politicians who won't take their side. This is what he said. He goes, what I would say is, if we don't do something about this, I'm going to put you on call block on my cell phone, he said out on the call. He said a recording of which was shared by Semaphore by a donor. The hour-long call Tuesday offered a glimpse of the panic that's inside the ranks of the Dem donors as a parade of wealthy Democrats, some dialing in from vacation and one taking jokes about skiing in the Southern Hemisphere. They all took turns asking Carville, Paul Begala, and Reid Hoffman advisor Dimitri Melhorn how they could push Biden out.
One of the donors asked, what can we do as donors to encourage the change in the ticket?
Yeah. Continuing to have President Biden at the top of the ticket is giving people an excuse to vote for Donald Trump. Said another, if you wake Joe Biden at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask him who's president, does he get it right? Fretted a third. Here's my take on this, and I know it's your take, and I hope that it's all the voters' take on this. And I'm talking about whether you're a Republican voter, whether you're an independent party voter, whether you're a Green Party, whether you're a Libertarian, whether you're a Democrat. The point that all of that is coming out should kind of freak you out, because those of you that voted in the primary for Joe Biden, those of you that voted in the primary for somebody else on that ticket, these guys are talking about stealing your vote too. If there's ever been an insurrection, let's call this one also.
Yes, I agree 100% on that. This is an insurrection, and there are Democrats in the party that are up for election. Their elections have not happened yet, and then they're having really tough races coming up. And the Democrats in the House and the Senate are going, OMG, what are we going to do now? And they're not getting any money. The money's drying up. You know, they can't run on Biden. They already were pushing him aside and you know, saying other things. You know, they were using abortion, you know, to try to win. But, man, we had this Democrat come out just out of the blue, and he writes an op-ed. And he says, the headline says, Trump is going to win the election, and democracy will be just fine.
Remember I've always made this comment too. Hey, out there in the country somewhere is rational, sensible people that just happen to vote Democrat. Hopefully they see all of this shit and they go, this ain't right.
Yeah. Well, no, like Mike LaChance from the Gateway Pundit says, he said, given the world we live in today, it's positively shocking to hear words like this coming from an elected Democrat.
Yeah.
The op-ed that the representative put out says this. It says, after the presidential debate, lots of Democrats are panicking about whether President Joe Biden should step down as the party's nominee. Biden's poor performance in the debate was not a surprise. It also didn't rattle me as it has others, because the outcome of this election has been clear to me for months. While I don't plan to vote for him, Donald Trump is going to win, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he goes on to say, there are winners and losers in every election. Democrats' post-debate hand-wringing is based on the idea that a Trump victory is just not a political loss, but a unique threat to our democracy. I reject that premise, he said. Unlike Biden and many others, I refuse to participate in a campaign to scare voters with the idea that Trump would end our democratic process. This Independence Day marks our nation's 248th birthday. In that time, American democracy has withstood civil war, world wars, acts of terrorism, and technological and societal changes that would make the founders' heads spin. I urge everyone, voters, elected officials, the media, and all citizens, to ignore the chattering classes' scare tactics and political pipe dreams. We don't need party insiders in a smoke-filled back room to save us. We can defend our democracy without them. Just amazing.
Amazing. Totally amazing.
Said this over and over again, people. Critical thinking is a must. Logic is a must.
Ignore the noise.
And happy 4th of July to everyone.
See you on Friday.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.